Head of EY India, Rajeev Memani. Rajeev, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
To start with, that dreaded CBDT circular has now been put in abeyance, and the CBDT has said that it will consult with all stakeholders before taking a final call on what it will put out. Is this a big relief for foreign investors?
Yeah, I think it's a relief. I won't say it's a big relief. I think it's definitely a relief. I think it will be a big relief when they finally come out with what's the stated position. I think my sense is that the message it gives is that the Ministry of Finance is very clear to settle this issue. And they just want to find a way that they do it in an appropriate manner. So that there is clarity and there is lesser room for multiple interpretations. And I think that's what. So I think it's a positive move. I think.
What are the key things that you believe the government ought to clarify? What are the key changes that you believe the government will need to bring about? I mean, most people have spoken about how the threshold at 5% is very low, and perhaps that would be one of the issues that the government will have to address.
I think that will be the key issue. How do they address the issue of threshold? That will be the key issue, because everyone has to give. Sometimes it's not known to the investors themselves. They have to make these disclosures. So I think it just makes operationalizing of this very difficult, both from the standpoint of people who are giving the disclosures and also from the standpoint of execution. And it gives rise to absurd results. So I think that will be the key. I think whether they take the threshold to 26% or whatever it is, and I think put that on, I think that will be the key thing.
So, as you talk to foreign investors here in Davos, what are the questions that they're asking you? What are they saying when they talk about India, investing in India?
So I think my sense is obviously because of demonetization, I think that's definitely a question that people are asking. Is it a short-term impact, medium-term impact? What is the long-term impact of demonetization? I think there are questions around GST. And there are questions around, issues that once in a while crop up from an ease of doing business. I think no one has any doubt on the potential of India. I think the question that people have is the ease of achieving that potential. And there are, a lot of success stories that we can talk through how companies have operated in India in a very successful manner. But I think the constant validation of that is key. I mean, the fact today is that even if you look at the global growth arena, a large part of the global growth today is coming from countries like China and India, almost 2/3 of the growth. So I think people are conscious of that. I mean, India is frankly not that much in the news in Davos, as you probably would have figured out till now. So I think there are lesser questions around that. I think the impact of demonetization, GST, some industry-specific issues, in some sectors, something happening here or there. I think those are the more irritants. And also, everyone is very positive on what the government is doing. They're seeing when will they see the impact of that come in increased consumption and things like that.
All right, so those are the big voices coming in from